48 through 151.
Let's walk through these articles because they form the blueprint for this entire oversight system. We start with Article 148, which we can think of as the shield. This article dictates that the CAG is appointed directly by the President of India.
But appointment is only the first step. The real protection lies in the rules for removal. Article 148 prescribes a very rigorous special procedure for the removal of the CAG. They can only be removed from office on the specific, heavily scrutinized ground of proven misbehavior or incapacity.
So you cannot dismiss the CAG just because they published a highly critical audit report regarding a flagship government program.
Exactly. Furthermore, their salary and other conditions of service are determined directly by Parliament.
Meaning the entities being audited do not control the auditor's budget or paycheck. Building on that constitutional foundation, we also have the Comptroller and Auditor General's Act of 1971. This act dictates that the CNA holds office for a strict term limit, 6 years, or up to the age of 65 years, whichever comes earlier.
Term limits are a vital governance safeguard. A 6-year term is substantial enough to conduct meaningful, long-term, systemic investigations, but the strict limit ensures regular rotation. It prevents any single individual from accumulating entrenched power over decades.
Makes sense.
And of course, they retain the right to resign at any time by addressing a formal letter to the president.
So Article 148 provides the shield. Article 149 provides the sword. This article outlines the actual sweeping duties and powers of the CNAG. It mandates that they perform duties and exercise powers in relation to the accounts of the Union, the states, and any other authority or body as prescribed by Parliament. It's the constitutional mandate to demand access to the books.
Then we arrive at Article 150, which addresses a highly technical but crucial aspect of auditing standardization. This article states that, on the advice of the CNAG, the President will prescribe the specific form in which the accounts of the Union and the states must be kept.
And for anyone who has ever tried to consolidate financials from different subsidiaries that use different accounting software, you know why standardization is critical.
Oh, it's a nightmare otherwise.
It really is. If every state and every union department kept their financial records in a different format using bespoke accounting principles, auditing them at a national scale would be impossible.
Standardization is the enemy of financial obfuscation. By giving the CNAG the power to dictate the exact form of the accounts, the Constitution ensures that the financial data is presented in a uniform, auditable, and transparent manner. You cannot easily hide a 20 crore rupee depreciation manipulation if you're forced to adhere to a rigidly standardized reporting format designed by the auditors themselves.
Finally, we reach Article 151, which is effectively the megaphone. The CNAG can conduct the most rigorous audits in the world, but if those reports are buried in a bureaucratic vault, it doesn't serve the public interest. Article 151 mandates that the audit reports relating to the accounts of the central or state government must be submitted to the president or the governor of the state.
And the mechanism of accountability doesn't stop there. The president or the governor is legally required to cause those reports to be laid before Parliament or the respective state legislative assemblies.
So it's forced out into the open.
Yes. The executive branch cannot simply suppress a critical audit report. It must be presented directly to the lawmakers, to the elected representatives, where it officially enters the public record.
The constitutional framework is incredibly robust, but the sheer volume of what falls under their jurisdiction is staggering. The scope of the CNAG covers all the union and state government departments and offices. That alone includes massive operational networks like the Indian Railways and the posts and telecommunications infrastructure.
And beyond those government departments, their mandate covers all the public commercial enterprises controlled by the union and state governments, all the government companies and statutory corporations we detailed earlier.
Right.
And their reach extends even further into the quasi-public sphere. They also audit non-commercial autonomous bodies and authorities owned or controlled by the union or the states.
They also have a fascinating catch-all provision. They audit any authority or body that is substantially financed from union or state revenues. So even if an organization isn't officially labeled a government department or a PSU, if it is running primarily on taxpayer money, the CNAG has the constitutional authority to follow that money and audit its utilization.